Karma is a concept that resonates deeply with many of us. Some people think of it as a kind of universal scoreboard, keeping track of all the good and bad we do, handing out rewards or punishments accordingly. But karma is more than that. It's about realizing that every action we take sends ripples through our lives, and those ripples eventually come back to us. You've probably heard the phrase, "What goes around, comes around." That's karma in a nutshell. It's similar to Newton's law of motion. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. But here's the difference: this isn't just a physical rule. It's a spiritual truth that runs through every aspect of life. Now, let's dive into the 12 laws of karma, and see how you can apply them in your life. These laws aren't just abstract ideas, they're practical tools for dealing with the ups and downs we all face. The Great Law. Think of this as the law of cause and effect. Every action you take has a consequence, and those consequences eventually make their way back to you. Imagine you help a friend move into a new apartment. That friend might not help you move the next day, but maybe a month or even a year later, you'll find help coming your way, maybe from that same friend, maybe from a stranger. That's how karma works. It's like planting seeds of kindness and watching them grow. The more seeds you plant, the more likely it is you'll see the fruits of your kindness down the line. But karma isn't just about physical acts. It's about how you treat others too. If you're consistently kind and respectful, people will be more likely to treat you the same way. It's like sending out positive energy into the world and having that energy return to you. Now, you might wonder, what if I'm nice, and people are still mean to me? Remember, good actions are like seeds, they take time to grow. Be patient. The important thing is to keep putting goodness out there, no matter what's happening around you. Because even on your worst days, those seeds are still growing, and they'll eventually bloom into something beautiful, whether it's in the form of love, friendship, or opportunities you didn't see coming. So, what can you do today to plant some good seeds? Maybe it's something simple, like holding the door for someone. Or maybe it's something bigger, like helping a friend in need. Whatever it is, remember, every little action counts. And it's not just for them, it's for you too. One day, those good seeds you planted will come back to you in amazing ways. The law of creation. Think of yourself as a magnet. Just like a magnet attracts metal, you attract the life you lead based on who you are, not just what you wish for. If you're a happy, positive person, you'll draw happy, positive situations and people into your life. But if you're constantly angry, sad, or negative, guess what? You'll find yourself in situations that make you feel even more that way. A lot of people like to blame others for their unhappiness. It's my boss's fault I hate my job, or I'm single because there are no good people left. But here's the wake-up call: you're the director of your own life. If something isn't working, only you have the power to change it. Don't just sit back and let life happen to you. Jump in the driver's seat. If a great idea pops into your head, go for it. If an opportunity comes knocking, open the door. The people you surround yourself with also play a huge role in the kind of life you create. They say you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So, take a look around. Are these people inspiring you, or are they bringing you down? You may not be able to change them, but you can change who you spend your time with. Maybe it's time to find new friends or mentors who align with the direction you want your life to go. Surround yourself with things and people that lift you up, and your life will reflect that positivity. The law of humility. Imagine you're walking around with a pebble in your shoe. You know it's there, it's uncomfortable, but you just keep walking, hoping it'll go away on its own. But it doesn't. It just keeps bothering you, right? That's how life works. We all have problems or challenges that make our journey uncomfortable. But instead of facing them, many of us just keep moving, pretending the issues don't exist. Ignoring a problem doesn't make it disappear, it just makes it stick around longer, causing more discomfort as time goes on. The first step to solving any problem is admitting it's there. You can't fix what you don't acknowledge. For example, if you're always late to work, it's easy to blame traffic or your alarm clock. But the real issue might be that you're not giving yourself enough time to get ready. Until you accept that, nothing will change. It might seem scary to face your problems head-on, but the moment you do, you're already halfway to solving them. Accepting that you have a problem isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It means you're brave enough to face reality, even when it's uncomfortable. And once you accept things as they are, you'll start to see them more clearly, and you'll find ways to tackle your challenges and turn them into opportunities for growth. The law of growth. Some people think that changing their surroundings will magically fix everything. They say, if I move to a new city, I'll be happy, or if I get a new job, everything will be fine. But here's the thing, Wherever you go, you take yourself with you. If you're unhappy now, there's a good chance you'll be unhappy in that new city or job unless you address what's really going on inside. Your thoughts shape your world. Think of them as the steering wheel of your life. If you always think negatively, guess where you're headed? Toward more negativity. But if you focus on positive thoughts, you'll steer yourself toward positive experiences. It's like training for a marathon. You can't just show up on race day and expect to win without preparing. The real work happens in the days, weeks, and months leading up to it. It's the same with your dreams. The preparation starts in your mind. The law of responsibility. Picture this, you're driving into a storm. It wasn't your choice to have a storm on your route, but how you navigate it is entirely up to you. Do you slow down? Pull over and wait for the storm to pass? Or do you push through it? Life throws storms our way too, and while we can't control the weather, we can control how we respond. If there's chaos around you, if your life feels out of control, take a moment to ask yourself, what role am I playing in all of this? Maybe you're dealing with a difficult relationship or a job that's draining your energy. It's easy to point fingers and say, it's not my fault. But the law of responsibility reminds us to look inward. Even if you didn't create the problem, it's your responsibility to address it. You own your reactions, your emotions, and your next steps. Facing your role in life's troubles can be tough, but it's also liberating. You have the power to change your situation, starting by looking within. The law of connection. Every step you take, every choice you make, matters. Whether it's deciding to get out of bed early, choosing to eat healthier, or even calling an old friend, these choices add up and shape who you are and where you're going. And here's the empowering part. Since all steps are connected, every moment is an opportunity to steer your life in the direction you want it to go. Got a habit you want to break? Start now. Want to learn a new skill? Take the first step today. Success doesn't happen overnight. Behind every overnight success are years of hard work, small choices, and steps that all connected to create a path. Your path might look different, and that's okay. The important thing is that you're moving forward, one connected step at a time. The law of focus. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, work, family demands, it's a lot to juggle. But the law of focus reminds us that you can't give your best effort to something if your attention is scattered. Focus allows you to pour all your energy into one thing, and that's when real progress happens. If you've got a dream, whether it's becoming a musician, starting a business, or building a relationship, you have to give it your full attention. The more you focus, the more you'll see the results you want. Where your focus goes, your energy flows, and that's where transformation happens. The law of giving and hospitality. We've all experienced that warm, fuzzy feeling that comes from helping someone out. Whether it's giving your time, sharing a smile, or lending a hand, giving has a way of lifting both the giver and the receiver. The beauty of giving isn't just in the act itself, but in what it says about who you are deep down. True wealth isn't measured by how much you have, but by how much you give away. And here's the amazing part. When you give without expecting anything in return, you often end up receiving more than you gave. Life has a funny way of rewarding selflessness. Every small act of kindness sends ripples across the universe, and those ripples eventually come back to you in waves of blessings. So go ahead, give freely. You never know the impact your kindness will have.